Solids, page 6. To calculate the volume of a prism, you need to know the area of the cross-section of the prism and the height, or the distance between the two end faces. And once you know those, you just find it by doing the area of the cross-section times the height. Okay? So let's try to find the volume of some of these prisms, which are basically just any geometric shape popped out. So we'll do A. So A has an end of, like the cross section here is 1.5 decimeters times 1.3 decimeters. So we would multiply 1.5 times 1.3, and then we would just multiply that times the length of the whole thing, which is 12. Okay, so for A, it would be 1.5 times 1.3 times 12. And that will give us 23.4 decimeters cubed. Okay, and it even says here that the volume is in decimeters cubed. Okay, B. So B has a cross-sectional area here of 2 times 3 meters. And then it's multiplied times a length of 15. So that would be 2 times 3 times 15. 90. Okay. And these, the ones that are rectangles are quite easy, right? You could use length, width times height formula also. So for C, we could just do 20 times 20 times 20, right? Or 20 cubed. That would just give you 8,000 centimeters cubed. Okay? D. Now D is a tricky one because this really is a prism. Okay, and so this one says AB and AC are 8. So that's 8, and that's 8. BAC is 30 degrees. BAC, so that is 30 degrees. So what we need to do is we need to figure out the area of this triangle, which is 30 degrees here, and 8 here. And then we can just multiply it times the length, which is 10. Okay? This is not a right triangle, but you have a formula for this, which is A equals 1/2 AB times the sine of C. Remember that one? So this would be equal to 8 times 8 times the sine of 30. The sine of 30 degrees is, if you do it on your calculator, is 0.5. Okay, so the sine of 30 degrees 0.5. Okay, so it would be 0.5 times 0.5 times 8 times 8, which is 16. Okay, so the area of this cross section is 16, and then you just multiply it times 10 because that's the length, and then you get 160. So that's the answer for D. What about E? So E is a prism, and to figure out the cross-sectional area, you just figure out the cross-sectional area of this triangle. And this is a right triangle, so not too hard. It's got a length of 5, or a hypotenuse of 5, and it has a side of 3 here. Okay? And actually, if you use Pythagorean's theorem, you'll find out that this unknown side is 4. Okay, so you got a triangle here. It's 3, 4, and 5. To figure out the area of this triangle, you could just do 1/2 times base times height because it's a right triangle. So it'd be 1/2 times 4 times 3. You wouldn't use 5 because 5 is a hypotenuse. It's not one of the right legs. So that would be 6. Okay, so the cross-sectional area is 6, and then you multiply it times 2, which is the height. And that'll give you the volume of A, or E, which is 12. 12 meters cubed. What about F? F has a cross-sectional area that, let's see, it's got a base of 5, and it's got a height of 7. Okay, and we can easily figure out the area of this cross-sectional area. It's 1/2 times base times height, which is equal to 1/2 times 7 times 5, which is equal to 35 divided by 2, which is 17.5. And then we can multiply it times the length, which is 12. Okay, and we'll get 210 centimeters cubed. Okay, and that's the answer for F. All right. Number 3, last one on this page. The diagram shows a prism, ABCDEF, which is a regular hexagon. Each side of the hexagon is 5 centimeters, and the height of the prism is 13.5. What is the size of the angle COB? COB. So COB, let's draw out the base of this prism. And it's a hexagon. And they want to know what is the angle COB, which is that angle there. Well, look at, it's a regular hexagon. So it's taken 360 degrees, dividing into 6 equal parts. So the angle COB is 60 degrees, which is 360 degrees divided by 6, right? Find the area of the triangle COB, okay? So we're going to find just this one small triangle here. And we know that this triangle has a base of 5, and then we don't know what the height is, but we do know that this angle here is 60 degrees. We can use the formula 1/2 times 5 times 5 times the sine of 60 degrees to figure out what the area is for that triangle. The sine of 60 degrees is 0.866. So we're going to have 0.866 times 25 times 0.5. Which is 10.8. Okay, so that is the area of the small triangle, COB. And then it says, find the area of the regular hexagon ABCDEF. Well, there is 6 of these triangles in there, so we could just multiply 6 times 10.8, and that will give us the area of the hexagon, 64.8. Find the volume of the prism. So we would take the hexagon and then multiply it times the height, which is 13.5. So we have 64.8 times 13.5. And that will give us 874.8. And that is the end of page 6.